Women have been giving birth for thousands of years, and we didn't see mass infant deaths. That's one of the arguments that I stumbled across on social media. I'm a neonatologist, so my argument to that is a little bit different, but we have come a long way in human history in terms of infant survival. So I want to talk a little bit about why and what has changed in the last century to get us where we are today. So in the early 1900s, we had a high infant mortality rate. 10 to 15% of all infants born in the United States did not survive till their first birthday. And some of the causes were infections, so either from delivery, just in an unclean or non-sterile environment, dehydration and diarrhea, so unsafe milk, or viruses that cause aggressive diarrhea and the baby became dehydrated and didn't survive. Prematurity was a huge reason for infant mortality, and then birth complications. There have been a lot of efforts in the last century to improve this number. So around 1912, there was the U.S. Children's Bureau, which was founded, and it was the first national effort to protect babies' health. In the 1920s, we got pasteurized milk and clean water to prevent infection. And then in the 1960s, we started really developing the vaccines that commonly affected children and were the cause for some infant mortality. And that continued to progress through the 1970s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. We also had advancements in neonatal medicine during this time period. So first was the invention of penicillin. So we were able to treat babies for infections and prevent infant deaths. So then in the 1960s, John F. Kennedy's son passed away. He was only 35 weeks gestation, but he passed away from hyaline membrane disease. He wasn't that premature, but we just didn't have the ventilator strategies or the neonatal management. So that kind of really sparked neonatology in terms of developing a specialty to take care of infants born early. In the 1990s, the AAP started recommending putting babies on their back to sleep, and then there was the Back to Sleep initiative, which decreased the rate of SIDS by over 50%. So yes, women have been giving birth for thousands of years, but our infant survival rate wasn't that great for a long period of time, and it really wasn't until this last half of the century that we've made all of these initiatives to improve our infant mortality. And then in the 2000s, we continued to implement public health initiatives and QI initiatives. So since the NICUs are all over the country, the Vermont Oxford Network is a way that we all collect data to compare NICUs and our outcomes in babies that are born preterm. There was the initiative to decrease elective inductions for less than 39 weeks gestation. There were enhancements to WIC in the 2000s to try and improve breastfeeding support and maternal nutrition. So yes, we've made a huge improvement in the last half a century, but we need to continue with this momentum. We still have improvements we need to make in terms of prematurity and discrepancies in health equity, as well as support for parents postpartum. So we've made a lot of improvement, but there's still more improvement to be had.